Lauren Hamrick. This is Sophia Chusumana, and that's Todd Goldfarb. All right, take it away, guys.
Thanks so much. Okay. Thanks so much, Mary. We appreciate everyone coming out to launch today. So first, go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause for coming. You've taken the first step in your career journey. So a little bit about me. My name is Todd Goldfarb. I'm a senior here at NC State studying industrial engineering. This is my third year as a career ambassador for the Career Development Center.
My name is Sophia Chusumana. I'm a senior Alexander Hamilton Scholar majoring in International Relations and Business Administration. This is my first semester as a career ambassador, and it's actually also my first presentation.
All right, and my name is Lauren Hamrick. I'm a junior majoring in textile technology, and this is also my first semester as a career ambassador.
Okay, excellent. Sophia is going to talk to us about the launch program.
So how many of you guys went to launch events last year? Okay, very small few number. Basically, if you attend 6 launch events, which will be Mondays at 4:30 or Thursdays at 6 o'clock, you can earn the right to get a certificate signed by the dean, a t-shirt, and a meal on us. So you should really come out because we're going to be training you on the core 4 things that employers look for in professionals. And basically, it's professionalism, the ability to communicate, the ability to work together with other students and coworkers, and also the ability to solve issues.
Excellent. And something important to note about our launch series is that you want to be sure to RSVP on EPAC. Who RSVP'd for today's session? Okay, awesome. Gold star for everyone. Be sure to do that for the future because our room's going to be a little bit smaller, and so there's only so many people that we can fit. So if you don't RSVP, we may not have a seat for you. Okay, cool. Thanks for telling us about the core 4. Do you want to repeat those for us? Because they're really important.
So it's 1, professionalism, 2, the ability to communicate, 3, the ability to work with others, and 4, the ability to solve problems.
And you may be wondering how we got those core 4 qualities. We actually did a nationwide survey of employers, and those are the 4 things that they're looking for in applicants just like us. Cool. Let's talk about our learning objectives for today.
Yes, we have 3 objectives for today's launch program. The first is how to give a winning elevator speech. The second is how to prepare for the career fair, and our final one is what to wear to the career fair and what not to wear to the career fair.
Okay. A bit of housekeeping information for us. So we gave you a whole bunch of stuff when you swiped your card. You should have gotten a job search guide. It looks like this. Do you mind holding it up? Excellent. That's got a ton of information about today's launch as well as future launches. You should have also gotten a half-sheet survey. It's actually 2-sided, front and back. If you don't mind filling that out for us, you don't have to do it right now because we're just getting started. But fill that out during the presentation. It helps us as presenters get better for the next time that we have to present. And then the last thing, if you have questions, we actually have a pretty big group today. So if you have questions, feel free to hold them until the end, and you can come up to any of us, or Mary or Christina. We'll introduce her in just a second if you have questions. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next slide. Excellent. All right, so the slide up here says if we had all the answers, that would be great, right? But unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly what you have to say to an employer to get them to like you. Everyone's got their own story, right? So today, we're gonna give you the tools, the resources, and the strategies to be successful. But realistically, unless you take those home and practice on yourself and practice with your friends and work on your resume, you're not going to be any better by the time you walk out of Tally Student Center today. So it's really up to you to get started after our launch today. That's why we call it launch. It's really a starting place. But essentially, we can give you all the advice. We can give you all the free t-shirts at Celebration that we can, but again, it's up to you to get started. Okay, cool. Let's do a quick poll of the audience. I like this. Who has had a job? Raise your hand. That's really good. Okay. Who wants a job? That should be everybody. That's why you're here. Okay, good. Who's been to a career fair? Okay, excellent. Keep your hands up in the air and think about one of the challenges that you faced. Where's that microphone? Did we lose it? Oh, okay. Can you give me a challenge that you faced at your career fair that you went to?
There were a lot of tables there, knowing which table to visit, which employers you wanted to talk to.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Ryan.
Ryan. Let's give Ryan a round of applause. That can be really tough, especially if there's a lot of tables and a lot of employers, and there's a really complicated map, and you're like, I don't know what am I supposed to do? Okay, who else had, let's get one more. Who had a challenge? Right over here. It's Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer, what was a career fair challenge?
So one of the biggest challenges for me was just putting in the effort afterwards. So, you put in a lot of work to wear the right thing there, say the right thing, practice, but then you still have work to do after the fair is over. So the thank you cards and the applications themselves.
Great. Let's give Jennifer a round of applause. Thank you, Jennifer. So it's our goal today to answer and help clear up some of those challenges that we'll face going forward. So let's talk a little bit about why you should go to a career fair. Lauren, do you mind reading these for us?
Absolutely. So the first one says that 71% of students who are going to work attended career fairs. And the second one says career fairs and on-campus recruiting are rated the highest in effectiveness for recruiting interns and co-ops.
Excellent. And then the last reason, of course, is you get a whole bunch of free stuff, right? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So one of the other things, so maybe you're a freshman and you're like, why should I go this year? Well, if you keep coming year after year to the career fairs, the employers are pretty regular, right? They come back every year and they're going to remember you and say, hey, John, I saw you last year. How are you doing? How are things? How's the pet? Right? So the more familiar you are to the employers, the better of a shot you'll be down the road when you're a senior and looking for full-time employment. Okay, cool. Let's talk about first impressions.
First impressions are probably one of the most important things that we can stress today. According to a New York University study, when you meet a person, they make 11 decisions about you in the first 7 seconds. And 7 seconds is really not a lot of time. So let's count out 7 seconds real quick, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was very, very little time. And we have a couple examples of just the impressions that they make about you when you first meet them. Credibility, your trustworthiness, your sophistication, your level of success, and your social and professional desirability.
So you guys look like a group of really motivated students. You look like you've had your stuff together. What are some things that you think are common misconceptions about career fairs in general? Shout that out or
Raise your hand.
talk here? Anyone have a misconception? Well, I know that when I was a freshman and a sophomore, I definitely thought that career fairs were only for people who were looking for jobs. So I was like, I'm a full-time student, why am I here? I also thought it was only for seniors. And I thought that basically that it was kind of irrelevant, that it was like an old school way of getting a job. We have the internet now. But now that I realize that isn't true, and most of all I realize that as a shy person, as an introvert, you should really push yourself to go to career fairs. The reality about career fairs is that it gives you the opportunity to be like Dora the Explorer. You get to explore a whole bunch of different majors, careers, businesses, and you get to discuss internships and co-ops and future opportunities that you might want to take on. They also give you the opportunity to expand your network of contacts. So it allows you to make those contacts before you reach out to someone on LinkedIn, or also like figure out more about the companies that you want to work for in the future. Basically, it's an amazing opportunity to practice, and once you develop a game plan for how you're going to confront this challenge, you're going to do amazing, and you're going to also have a great chance to just practice in general. And for me personally, I remember being very scared my first career fair. I was up there like shaking, and I came into the room, and I was really scared of failing. If they don't want my resume, then obviously I failed. But basically, as you'll see in this next video, you have to try and try again. Even some of the most successful people in the world have failed before.
Dismissed from drama school with a note that read, wasting your time, she's too shy to put her best foot forward. Turned down by the Decca recording company who said, we don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out. A failed soldier, farmer, and real estate agent. At 38 years old, he went to work for his father as a handyman. Cut from the high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. A teacher told him he was too too stupid to learn anything, and he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. His fiancée died, he failed in business twice, he had a nervous breakdown, and he was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never lived.
Okay, cool, thank you. Right now, I'd like to introduce our special guest, and I don't know if we mentioned this before, but this launch is actually sponsored by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and Christina Canspados, is that right? Okay, is here from Enterprise, and she's got some of her top 5 tips for us that she's going to share. So please give a warm welcome to Christina.
Well, I first want to just say, I think this is so great that you guys are doing this. One, I applaud you all for coming here. I did hear that it was voluntary, so yay for you guys for trying to get ahead. I want to first start off briefly, if you guys don't know a little bit about Enterprise, just to kind of tell you a little bit. If you'd like some more information, I'd be happy to talk to any of you afterwards. But basically the position that I hire for is a management trainee position, so it is entry level. So I live on campus during career fair season. So I have been a recruiter now for about 5 years. So I've been to what feels like millions of career fairs. So I can give you all kinds of stories. I can give you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. So one thing I do want to point out first is, which I mentioned earlier, you know, I don't have all the answers. And I don't have all the answers either. I can't give you exactly what you need to say when you go up to employers, because all of you are very different. You know, what one of you is going to tell me can't be the same thing that somebody else tells me. So my absolute biggest recommendation, I guess my number one tip, and I believe we're going to get into this later, so I don't necessarily want to take away from the presentation, but is to do your research. That's so important. You know, with a school like NC State, obviously there's going to be a lot of employers at your career fair, and I do understand that that can be overwhelming. But what a great opportunity for you guys to get a leg up than to maybe Google some companies before you go in. You know, that you're going to get a list, you're going to absolutely know every company that's going to be there. You know, an important thing, and I can certainly speak to this working for Enterprise, is you never know what positions companies offer. I can remember being a senior in college, which was longer ago than I will admit, sitting in my capstone class and my professor saying, all right, everybody's got to go to the career fair. There's going to be a lot of companies there. Enterprise is going to be there. And I was like, Enterprise? And one other kid in my class was like, the car rental company? And she goes, yeah, they have a great management trainee position. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. So went to my career fair. I didn't even go to the Enterprise table. I was like, I'm not dealing with that business, because I was stupid and didn't do my research. So had I done my research like I did 3 months later, I would have learned about the great management trainee position and all of the opportunities that are offered. So you never know. I mean, Waffle House is another company that has a fantastic management training position. I don't think anybody would ever guess that from going to a Waffle House. So not that I'm here to promote other companies, but the research piece is very, very important. So definitely make sure that you are aware of what the company offers, the positions that they're hiring for, so that when you walk up to that employer, you don't say, so what do you do? That's probably one of my least favorite things at a career fair is, you know, we're here, we're spending our time, we want to meet some great students, and somebody walks up and says, what's Enterprise? You know, I don't have as much patience for that as I used to, and I would venture to say that a lot of recruiters are probably pretty similar to myself. So, you know, when someone comes up and says, so what do you do? And I'm like, you mean like for fun, like outside of work? I don't know what you mean. You know, I expect people to come in fully prepared and have done their research and know what positions I'm offering. It's okay to come up and ask specifics about the position, but I expect you to know a little bit about, you know, kind of what we're dealing with. Another important reason to do your research is because you want to make sure that the culture of the company fits what you're looking for. A very important step in our interview process is we make everybody do a branch observation. So everybody has to go in to the environment that they're going to be working in, because we want to make sure that the culture fits what you're looking for. So that does tie into the research piece, but you also really need to be able to look at what you specifically are looking for. You know, what is it that you want to do? Do you want a career in sales? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to sell cars? I don't know. But whatever it is that you're looking to do, make sure that you're clear on that and you're researching all of the opportunities, you know, that lie within that. Another person, I can't remember who said it, I think you were in the back, about being the follow-up piece, kind of being a bit of an issue. Who said that? I don't know. Okay, hi. So I totally understand that. Most companies now, I mean, I would bet a lot of money that there's not going to be any company that comes to this career fair that does not have a website. So of course, that's going to be something that does seem a little overwhelming, that you're going to come in, and you're going to talk to these people, and then you're going to think, okay, great, I had this great conversation with Christina, I'm going to get this job, and then I say, hey, go fill out this application, and it's 35 pages long, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. So that can seem a little overwhelming, I'm totally with you there, but the biggest piece of that is the applications and stuff, that's such a small part of the process. That's more legalities than anything. So don't even let that tie you down. You know, with me, I'm very, I guess, I'm a recruiter. My job is to kind of do that follow-up piece. So I kind of put that on myself when I meet great people at a career fair, that I want to follow up with them. I want to be the one the next day to shoot an email saying, hey, it was so great to talk to you. You know, be sure to follow up if you have questions, anything like that. But not every company is like that, and how great and how much does it stand out to me when somebody does take that initiative and say, hey Christina, it was so great to talk to you yesterday, really interested in the management training position, love to set up a time to talk. Such a small thing that took 30 seconds of your time could get you a job. I mean, it's as simple as that. The first impression piece I want to touch on too, and tell me if I'm going over time or anything. So the first impression piece is very important as well. Now, I can honestly say I've never met somebody at a career fair that has done something so detrimental that has made me say I will never hire this person. But with that being said, why would you want to start off on the wrong foot? Like for something as simple as putting on a suit and doing some research and walking up to an employer and being able to have a good conversation, it sets you so far apart, and there's minimal effort that goes into that for you. So my advice there is just do that little piece, because it's going to get you further than you think. Employers are very impressed by little things. You know, someone who does have a resume in hand. A lot of students these days, and I'm not sure if that's something that you guys do in like a class or not, but a lot of students have business cards. It has all their contact information, it has what their major is, their graduation date. One of the things I know, and I think it was up here before, a lot of companies don't take resumes anymore. We're one of them. We use, I don't know, kind of an online recruiting tool. We'll kind of snap a picture of your resume, but if somebody gives me a business card, that's so easy. I can stick it in my pocket, and I can be sure to email that person tomorrow. So again, little things are definitely things that stick out here. I'm interested to know, because we only heard two, what are some other things that you guys have fears about at career fairs? There's got to be more than that.
Wasting time in a really long line for like popular companies. Like,
Yeah.
Is it worth the wait for it, or should I just focus more on other tables? Because usually, like some lines are like Google, for example, out the door.
Absolutely. And I think that I can't answer that question for you, because that's going to depend on if that's something you really want to do. If you see value in that company and you're like, I want to work for Google, then absolutely you need to wait in that line. But I think that also goes back to the fact that there's other companies there, and I'm not saying other companies are as great as Google, because we all know everything that they do, but there are other companies that offer some really great positions that people don't realize. You know, you might glance down the list and say, ooh, Google's there, I'm only talking to them. Whereas if you maybe read a little bit more into the other companies, you might find that there's a similar position somewhere else. Or you might be just looking at the name Google and not looking at the positions that they're hiring for, and you see that and you're like, I don't want to do that. And at that point, yes, you did just waste your time in that line. So I think that almost going back to the research piece, it seems like that's my only tip, but going back to the research piece, that's going to be important, and that's what's going to help you answer a lot of those questions. So sometimes it could be time wasting if you don't know anything